won't send me my play button. Recently, I got a YouTube channel called Don't Subscribe to 1 million subscribers. This was a really exciting moment for me. I'd been working to get this channel to 1 million for the past 12 months. It was a collaboration with the biggest YouTuber on the platform, MrBeast. But the unique thing about Don't Subscribe is that it doesn't have any videos. So in order to get Don't Subscribe 1 million subscribers, I had to promote as much as possible on this channel, JackSucksAtLife. But anyway, once the channel reached 1 million subscribers, I messaged MrBeast to ask him if he could get one of his contacts at YouTube to send us each a gold play button, because if you don't know, both me and MrBeast are pretty into our play buttons. Not that I'm counting or anything, but I do have slightly more play buttons than MrBeast, but you know, it's not a big deal or anything. It's not a competition, guys. But anyway, Jimmy messages his contact at YouTube, and that's when disaster struck. The worst case scenario came true. Our suspicions were correct. Because the channel has no videos, it is ineligible for a play button. But of course, I'm JackSucksAtLife. When I'm told I can't get a play button, I get a play button anyway. Case in point, Turd Boy 420. So I decided this time, if YouTube won't send me a play button, I will make my own custom play button using a real play button I've already got, and then because it's custom, I can do whatever I want. Now, you might also remember that the final challenge in this Don't Subscribe series was to get my Tesla Model 3 wrapped bright pink. And when the wrap was done, the people that wrapped the car gave me the rest of the pink wrap. Basically because they knew that no one else in the world will ever want to wrap their car this colour, so they don't need to keep hold of this. So I'm going to incorporate that pink wrap into my custom play button, because that way I'll immortalize the pink Tesla forever. So step one was to work out which of my many play buttons was gonna get customized. And of course, that was a very easy decision. I chose the awkward middle child silver play button. So this is a 2017 silver play button that I purchased recently. The reason I chose this play button is because if you look closer, you can see it's not in particularly good condition as it currently is. And I have a bunch of other silver play buttons already that are very similar to this. So the first thing I did was head into Photoshop to redesign the background for the play button, because I of course needed this play button to say don't subscribe, congratulations on surpassing 1 million subscribers. So this was a very simple design, it was very easy to do. I added in the YouTube logo and the MrBeast logo in the same style as the original 2017 play button, and then I just ordered it off a printing website. And when it came, I unboxed it and it looked absolutely horrendous. It was really pixelated and incredibly ugly. But don't worry, because I then ordered it from a different printing website, and this time the design came out a lot better and was really nice quality. So then it was time to actually start taking apart the existing play button, which I was very nervous about because this was an authentic piece of history. This was about 4 to 5 years old. Step one was very simple. I just needed to unscrew the hook that holds the play button onto the wall. You can see there's a lot of dust and hair on this play button. It's not in particularly good condition at all. Next thing I needed to do was remove the felt that was covering the whole back of the play button. So I began by lifting up the little clips, and then after that I just needed to very carefully work my knife under it because the whole thing is basically just glued to the back. So this took quite a while. I had to be careful not to rip it, but once I got 3/4 of the way up, a couple of little bolts were revealed. Now these two bolts are what keep the silver play button in place. Also, don't panic. I know currently this is a silver play button. I will turn it into a gold play button. Stay tuned. So I got the rest of the felt removed, and then all I needed to do was unscrew those clips, and that disattached the play button on the other side. So at this point, I was able to pull the cardboard backing out, and it was absolutely incredible to see the disattached silver play button. I absolutely loved holding this thing. And then when I picked up the frame, a load of wood fell out of it, and I was very confused, but we can come back to that later. So I decided I'd whack my gloves on and I'd give the silver play button a much needed polish because it had not had human contact for about 4 or 5 years. I think this is real silver, by the way. It definitely feels like silver when you give it a tap. Of course, while I had the silver play button, I took this rare opportunity to create my first authentic YouTube play button necklace. Don't I look absolutely epic? Yes, I do. But now enough playing around, because it was time to attach the replacement backing to the original. So once I made sure it was the correct size, I then just needed to cut it out so that it was actually the correct size. Once that was done, I just whacked the silver play button in front of it just to make sure that everything looked about right. And then using the original, I just needed to mark where I needed to make the 2 holes for the play button to be fitted. And then using my knife and some scissors, I actually made a couple of holes. So then I began adding grip tape to the original to stick the replacement over the top. Now, I realize in retrospect that this was probably a mistake, and I perhaps should have just used something as straightforward as a glue stick. Because when I went ahead and actually tried to stick the replacement on top, it immediately got stuck too early in the wrong place, and then I couldn't unstick it, and I ended up ruining the whole thing, and it got completely creased, and yeah, it was game over. But fortunately, I'd ordered more than one. So I cut the new one out, I cut some holes again, and then much more carefully, I attached it on top. It didn't stick perfectly, it was a little bit bumpy because of the tape underneath, that's why I probably should have used a glue stick. But it was still good enough, so at that point, just to check how things were looking, I decided I would reinstall the silver play button, and it looked great. I was really happy with how it looked so far, even if my face doesn't suggest that I was happy. So So then the exciting bit, because it was time to make my silver play button a gold play button. So I head outside with my gold spray. I gave it the little shake thing that you do. I sprayed some on the back first just to test it. That's what it said to do on the instructions. I don't quite know what I was meant to be looking for, but it didn't, you know, explode or anything. So then I gave it one last little polish, and then I sprayed the gold spray all over it, which was very cool and quite satisfying to do. While that was drying, it was time for the trickiest section, the frame. Remember my pink Tesla wrap that I was telling you about? That's right, I wanted to turn the black frame Tesla pink. Now, I'd never wrapped anything before. I just kind of winged it and hoped for the best. My filming is not particularly good during this section because I was really concentrating. But after about half an hour, it actually looked pretty solid. About 45 minutes had passed, so I went ahead and checked to see how my gold play button was doing outside. It had dried. It looked very, very nice. But you see on the right, there was a couple of bits where I'd missed the spray. So I decided I'd just give it a second coat and, you know, try and get any uneven bits. While we wait for the second coat, it was time to clean up the glass because obviously the glass had been exposed to the elements for the last 4 to 5 years. So it was very grubby. There was a few scratches on there, which obviously I can't do anything about, but we cleaned up the dust, which made a massive difference. After that, I had lunch. I had last night's pasta bake. It was delicious. And at this point, we are very close to finishing the Don't Subscribe gold play button, but I want to quickly remind you to subscribe if you have not already. Please! Why are we not on 1.8 million subscribers yet? We've been stuck at 1.7 for bloody ages. So yes, if you enjoy these videos, please check if you're subscribed. Thank you very much. After my lunch and self-promo, the gold play button had dried, and I took it out into the sun so I could show you what it looked like because, oh, it looks very, very nice. I'm actually really pleased with it. The spray coated very, very evenly in the end, and look at it glimmering in the sun. Oh! And then all I needed to do now was put the whole thing together. So, of course, we started with our freshly polished glass. It was a little trickier to squeeze in since it was a slightly smaller space now that the pink wrap and the sellotape and everything had been added. I gave it a little polish with my 10 million subscriber diamond play button cloth, and then I added in those 4 pieces of wood, which you'll remember they fell out when I opened this thing up for the first time. And it was time to get my brand spanking new gold play button and screw it to the back panel. This became slightly more complicated when I realized that I'd lost one of the screws. Do not quite know how that happened, but about 10 minutes later I found it, don't worry. So I screwed both panels together, then I just needed to shove it in with the frame. And then in order to hide my messy wrapping abilities, I reattached the black felt onto the back. This took a little while, but eventually we did it. I used a bit of grip tape just to keep the whole thing in place. And then finally, going full circle, I just needed to reattach the little panel thing that helps you clip it onto the wall. And just like that, my first custom play button was complete. Do you want to see it? Yes, you do! Look at this thing. Doesn't it look cool? I think it looks legit. It looks like this could have been sent from YouTube. And, I mean, it originally was. This is an authentic silver play button for a now deleted channel that reached 100,000 subscribers. But we have now goldified it, and it says don't subscribe on it. And it's pink! But yeah, I'm really pleased with this, and I think it immortalizes the challenge, doesn't it? And even once my car is no longer pink, I'll still have this pink frame to remember this fun challenge and this point in my life. Of course, this is smaller than a real gold play button, but you know what? I don't care. I could do with the play buttons being a bit smaller, if I'm honest, because I've run out of room on my wall. So let me go ahead and attach... I'm in swimming trunks because it's really warm today. The don't subscribe pink play button shall hang proudly right there. Beautiful. Look at that. Well, there we go. We finally finished this series, but hold on a second. Is that the door? Editor Becky, add a doorbell sound effect. See? Do you hear that? It's the door. Who could it be? I guess I'll go check, guys. Wait right there. Don't... Stay there. Whoa. Hey, everyone. I'm back. You'll not believe who was at the front door. It was a gentleman who said he had a parcel from YouTube. Okay, just in case you fell for my amazing acting abilities, what I'm about to show you actually happened about 2 weeks ago, but yes, YouTube did send me something. They didn't send me a play button, but for the first time ever, they sent me something, which is very exciting. And I can see from the box that it was edible. So let's cut to the very first time YouTube ever sent me something. This is very exciting because this is the first thing that YouTube has ever sent me for free, like just because they're like being nice and stuff. So this is a big deal, whatever's in here. Becky, look at that. Cupcakes, fragile, perishable goods to be delivered today. All right, here we go. Let's crack into it. This side, terribly exciting. Four. Right. Okay. Look at that, Becky, we've got a ribbon. We've got a ribbon. It's white and red. It's the YouTube colours. I'm sure that's 100% deliberate. Here we go. You ready for this? Oh.
Oh, that's so cute.
Oh. Hey Jack, don't subscribe may not be eligible for a play button, but we wanted to acknowledge the record-breaking community moment with a little treat for you. Keep pushing the envelope. Your friends at YouTube. Now that's going in the YouTube folder, yes. That is very, very exciting. And then...
Oh, they look so cute.
We've got all these little cupcakes with don't subscribe and 1 million written on them. Oh god, that's incredible. Look at that. That's very epic. Unreal. Alright, that's amazing. Thank you very much YouTube for sending this. And...
Oh, never bite.
Okay.
Big bite.
Okay.
All in one.
Alright. All in one?
All in one.
All in one?
Yes.
It's not happening.
Yay!
Thank you very much YouTube, and specifically thanks to Jazza, who's the person at YouTube that got this set up. Appreciate it. So yes, we got YouTube cupcakes. Isn't that sweet? Obviously someone at YouTube felt bad that they weren't able to send the gold play button, but I understand, the channel had no videos. If that's the rule, then that's the rule. So it was really nice that YouTube sent me something because, you know, they didn't have to send me anything. Now, of course, it would just make a bit of a mess if I was to try and smash a cupcake onto my YouTube wall, but I really want to immortalize these cupcakes in some way, so I've frozen one of them. Because that way we get to keep him forever. Oh, it's stuck. Yep, that's really on there. But I promise he's in there. It's a don't subscribe frozen cupcake. And with that, we come to the end of this video and the end of the don't subscribe series. Potentially, unless there's something else I can think of to milk this one more time. But I think that is it. So thank you very much for your support over the last 12 months with this series. It's been absolutely amazing. We end it with a pink play button and a frozen cupcake. Oh yeah, and $100,000. Yes, thank you very much for watching. Subscribe because I do upload more or less weekly on this channel. Loads of other stuff planned. Thank you for watching, and I will see you all later.